If you're an ambitious professional man at your heaviest weight, exhausted, tired, and not eating the foods that you enjoy while losing weight and gaining the same weight back, this video is for you because I'm going to share how I boosted my metabolism to lose 60 pounds and kept it off for 13 years. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm making a new video about weight loss advice for professional men every single week. Use these strategies to help dozens of men just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. And if you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight, I want to help you get to your healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. I used to believe when I was trying to lose weight that I needed to cut out all the foods that I really enjoy and just constantly working hours on the treadmill and working out in the gym and not seeing any results. But eventually I stumbled upon something that called metabolism resetting, and that was something that figures out how to actually increasing your metabolism so you can lose weight even faster. Because if you're in a calorie deficit for several weeks, you are declining your metabolism, so you are just having a lot of hunger, and the way to lose weight and keep it off is just maintaining that calorie deficit over a long period of time until you're able to lose the weight for good. But the problem is that you are so eager in the beginning, so you are automatically just tanking your metabolism. Let's imagine that you need, as a man 35 years old, you need 3,000 calories to maintain your current weight, and you're thinking that the lower calories you're eating, the better. So if you're just thinking you're eating 1,000 calories, you are losing weight. Of course you are, but after a couple of days, you are most likely not able to stick to this calorie deficit. So you're not able to lose weight, because if you need to lose 1 pound every single week, you need to maintain this calorie deficit. Let's imagine that you're only able to stick to that calorie deficit for 1 day. Then how are you going to survive the next 6 days? So the best way and most sustainable way is just having a 300 or 500 calorie deficit that you are trying to stick to every single day, and you have 45% of the daily calories come from protein, because high quality protein is helping you build muscle and lose fat even faster, and 40% of the daily calories come from carbs. So if you are someone who is losing weight with eating 1,000 calories but you're not able to stick to it, and then you're trying to eat the normal foods that you usually do, so you are losing weight and gain the same weight back. So the optimal way is that you should having 2 weeks of no working out in the gym, just maybe light walks like 6,000 steps, 7,000 steps every day to get your conditioning back and take a rest from the ongoing busting your ass off in the gym with strength training, where you are putting a lot of stress on your nervous system, and you are after 2 weeks just feeling very de-stressed. You don't have any cravings, you are feeling very rested. So that's the optimal way, and then you are slowly going into a calorie deficit of 300 calorie deficit, and then you're also following that through a whole week, and you're also having 6,000 steps every single day. You're going out in the gym 4 times in the gym, and you are targeting your whole body. So the first day could be chest, biceps, the next day could be back and abs, and the next day could be legs, and the last day could be shoulders and triceps, for example. And then you also want to have 2 exercises where you're solely focusing on compound movements, where you're adding on a lot of weights and you're trying to hit 10 to 12 reps every single set. And you also want to increase the weight with 2 and 5 kilos every single set, and also having 60 seconds of rest, and you want to hit 1 to 2 reps before failure, because that is optimal way to build more muscle so you can lose weight even faster. And let's imagine that you are also doing 4 times of cardio on a stationary bike where there's some resistance, and you should do that with 10 is your max where you're exhausted, but 6 is like you're good but you're still breathing hard. So you should perform that 20 minutes, and you stick to that for the next 2 weeks, and then eventually you're going to lose 1 to 2 pounds every single week. And the way that I actually lost the 60 pounds was that when I always hit a weight loss plateau, I use something that's called refeed. But before sharing that, if you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me and my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together. So when you are in a weight loss plateau, that is your body signaling to yourself that you are hitting a plateau where it's just being very comfortable in the way that you are eating, amount of calories you are, and also the amount of expenditure of calories that you are putting in, like how much you're walking, how much you're weight training, how much you're doing cardio. So the best way for you ambitious men who've been yo-yo dieting, you hate how you look yourself in the mirror, you're avoiding taking pictures, going out for dinners with your family because you're feeling embarrassed how you look, you maybe don't feel attracted to your wife anymore, that is that you are actually trying to increase the amount of steps that you are taking. So you always want to have a app on your phone where it says step app, and it has 6,000 steps you are following every single day, and increasing that to 8,000 steps, and then you are, instead of having a 300 calorie deficit, you are increasing that to 600 or 500 calorie deficit. So these small changes can put you in a bigger calorie deficit, and that means that you are burning even more calories, and then your metabolism is rising even faster because you are just trying to burn even more calories. So also I want to address that there's something that's called refeeds. I usually use refeed when I'm not losing weight, for example after 1 to 2 weeks. So the optimal way to use a refeed is that you want to rely on having an injection of 700 or 1,000 calories coming mainly from carbs, and that could, for example, be you are eating at the end of the week where you don't see the progress that you want, you are scheduling this refeed and you are eating maybe 3 stacks of pancakes with some Nutella on top, maybe some ice cream. But the most important thing is that you're getting all the carbs, because carbs is something that can fill your glycogen stores again where you're feeling full. Let's imagine that you've been 2 weeks and you're feeling tired, sluggish, and that's just because you are in a calorie deficit. But by, for example, not depleting your glycogen stores more, but you are filling it with, for example, the carbs. That's like a car that's out of engine, like fuel, and then you're putting more fuel in, then you are working out in more efficiently, you're sleeping better, you are having a lot more focus at work, especially when you are at work trying to give off presentation for your clients, and you want to be more confident, especially when you are at these networking events and you need to talk with them, and you get more career opportunities because you are performing better at work, and that also affects your, for example, your income. So by increasing the carbs, you are also increasing your metabolism. So the next couple of days you're sleeping better, you can see that you are losing even more weight. Maybe your inches around your stomach is just reducing, your clothes feels more loose, and that's a good sign. And then every single week or maybe every other week you are seeing some progress, and that's just a sign that you're actually doing the right way when it comes to, for example, losing weight and using the refeed. And if you are on standstill again, you just open it up with 10,000 steps and you're reducing calories with 200 calories more, and a refeed even more. You should also be aware of, when you are hitting these weight loss plateaus, the thing that you should not do is just eating a bunch of calories coming from junk foods, because if you're doing that, the amount of calories that you've been creating through a calorie deficit is just being erased. Let's imagine that you've been doing 500 calorie deficit with your diet every single week, and then you are, for example, like for the whole week, and then you are busting your ass on in the gym, 4 times of cardio every single day and 6,000 steps, and then you are going on a binge in the weekend because you feel like you deserve it, and you drink a lot of beverage. That makes it very difficult because you are erasing the calorie deficit that you've been busting your ass off through the week, and then you're not losing weight. And that's also the reason why that you are yo-yo dieting. You're constantly trying to eat healthy with following calorie deficit, and then you are eating a shit ton of food, and that is also the biggest weight loss mistake. That is fucking professional men at your heaviest weight, just like you, feeling exhausted of this ongoing dieting. And that's why I recommend that you just taking like slowly and make sure that you follow these steps that have been laid out in this video, and just don't try to fuck you over. So if you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you saw with me and my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description, also in the comment section, where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together. I look forward to help you build a game plan to lose the weight.